If you're a chosen one, you've probably felt like you just don't belong, especially in your own family. No matter how kind your heart is, no matter how much effort you put in to do the right thing, it always seems like you're the one being misunderstood, blamed, or pushed away. You may feel like a stranger among the people who are supposed to know you best. You try to love them, support them, be the peacekeeper, the one who sees beyond the surface. But instead of being appreciated, you're often seen as the problem. And it hurts. It's confusing. Sometimes it feels like you're carrying an invisible weight, something heavy that no one else even sees. But if you've ever felt this way, this message is for you. There's something different about you, and that difference isn't a flaw, it's your calling. You weren't meant to just continue the old ways, to repeat the same painful stories your family has been living for generations. You were born to shift something. You were born to break patterns, not follow them. But here's the truth. Not everyone wants the cycle to break. Many people have become used to their pain. They've built their entire lives around it. It's familiar. It feels safe, even if it's slowly destroying them. And when someone like you comes along, someone with light in their heart and vision in their soul, your very presence disrupts that comfort. It shakes things up. You become a mirror they weren't ready to look into. In families where trauma, silence, dysfunction, or toxic traditions have been passed down like heirlooms, someone has to come along and say, enough. That person is usually the chosen one. But the moment you say it, the moment you stop pretending, people may turn on you. They might say you're too sensitive, too dramatic, too rebellious. But really, you're just the first one brave enough to speak up. The first one willing to do something different. You don't accept pain as normal. You don't see silence as love. You don't pretend everything's fine when your heart is screaming that it isn't. And that honesty, that truth, can feel like a threat to people who have spent their lives hiding from it. You may not even realize how powerful your energy is. You walk into a room and sense the tension no one is talking about. You pick up on lies even when they're dressed up as smiles. You notice the emotional patterns, the people pleasing, the manipulation, the avoidance. And you don't just notice it, you feel it. Deeply. That sensitivity is not a weakness. It's your gift. But when you begin to speak on what you feel, when you shine a light on what others are trying to keep in the dark, they might not thank you. They might get angry. They might act like you're the problem. Why? Because denial is more comfortable than change. And truth? Truth is uncomfortable. You're not the black sheep. You're the golden thread trying to weave a new story. But your family might not see it that way. They may accuse you of tearing things apart, when really, you're trying to put things back together, but in a healthier, more honest way. They might call you distant or cold, when all you're doing is creating boundaries to protect your peace. They may say you've changed, when the truth is, you've simply grown. You're healing. You're waking up. And they might not be ready to do the same. What makes this even more painful is that you love your family deeply. You wish they could see what you see. You wish they could feel what you feel. You want to bring them with you on this journey of awakening, but they're stuck. And sometimes, trying to wake up people who want to stay asleep only drains your spirit. That doesn't mean you give up on them, but it does mean you start prioritizing yourself. Your growth, your healing, because the world needs you whole. Sometimes, the chosen one ends up walking a very lonely path. You may find yourself isolating more, craving solitude, feeling like no one understands you. You may even doubt yourself, wonder if maybe they're right. Maybe you are too much. Maybe you are overreacting. Let me tell you right now, you are not. You're just awake in a world that's still sleeping. You're just honest in a family that has learned to survive through silence. You are not wrong for feeling deeply, for questioning the rules, for wanting something better. And that pull you feel inside, that deep knowing that you're meant for something more, that's your soul reminding you of who you really are. You didn't come here just to survive family drama or play small to make others comfortable. You came here to rise, to live in truth, to heal generations of pain, not just for yourself, but for everyone who came before you and everyone who will come after. You are the prayer your ancestors whispered, the one they dreamed would break the chain. People might misunderstand your silence. They might call your distance disrespect. They may twist your healing into rejection. But don't let that make you shrink. You don't have to explain your light to those who are still choosing the dark. Some people will never see you clearly because they only know how to see others through the lens of their own wounds. That's not your fault, and it's not your job to fix them. What you can do is continue to grow. Continue to choose peace over people pleasing. Continue to trust your intuition, even when no one else sees what you see. You don't have to shout your truth from the rooftops for it to be valid. Sometimes the strongest act of love is walking away from what hurts, even if it has your last name. Sometimes healing means disappointing others just so you can stop betraying yourself. The path of a chosen one is not an easy one, but it is sacred. You are here to be the change, to break the silence, to open the door that's been locked for generations. And yes, it will feel lonely. It will hurt, but it will also set you free. So if this message found you, it's not by accident. It's because your soul is ready to hear it. You're not here to carry your family's pain. You're here to release it. You're not crazy. You're not dramatic. You're not the villain. You are the light bearer, the truth speaker, the chain breaker. If this message spoke to your soul, pause for a moment and take a deep breath. You've been carrying so much, and you deserve peace. You deserve to know that you're not alone. There are others like you, others waking up, healing, breaking cycles, and finding their voice. You are part of a much bigger picture, a divine plan that is unfolding perfectly, even when it feels messy or painful. And if this came to you right on time, type 111 in the comments as a sign to the universe that you are ready to release the guilt, the blame, and the need to be understood by those who refuse to see you. Claim your blessings. Step into your purpose. And remember, just because you were born into dysfunction doesn't mean you have to stay in it. You were never meant to fit in. You were meant to stand out, to rise, to lead, to transform. The world and your family may not fully see it yet, but one day they will. And in the meantime, keep choosing yourself, because that is the most powerful legacy you can leave behind. Some families are built on love, support, and mutual respect, but others are held together by something far more toxic: control. In these families, there are often silent rules everyone is expected to follow. Sometimes that control is subtle, like guilt-tripping or passive-aggressive remarks. Other times, it's more obvious: emotional blackmail, conditional love, or manipulative behavior that keeps people in line. In these homes, being obedient is rewarded, and questioning the way things are is seen as betrayal. But not everyone plays along. There's often one person who just won't fit into that system. This person, sometimes called the chosen one, doesn't accept the silent rules. They refuse to be manipulated. They think for themselves and don't feel guilty for setting boundaries. They believe love should be unconditional, not something you earn by playing a role. And because they won't let others control them, they quickly become the problem in the family's eyes. When they say no to something that doesn't align with their values, they're called selfish. When they pull back from relatives who bring negativity into their lives, they're labeled ungrateful. When they assert their independence or speak their truth, they're seen as rebellious or difficult. But in reality, they're simply choosing peace. They're protecting their mental and emotional energy. And that choice threatens people who rely on control to feel powerful. Instead of respecting this person's strength and boundaries, the family often pushes back harder. They twist the story, making it seem like the chosen one is causing problems. They stir up drama, gossip behind their back, and try to turn others against them. The chosen one may find themselves suddenly isolated, misunderstood, and blamed, all because they had the courage to stand up for themselves. And it's not just control that makes them a target. They also carry something special within them, a light. Sometimes it's intelligence, sometimes it's creativity or emotional depth. Sometimes it's just the calm, peaceful energy they bring into a room. They may not even realize they have this light, but others feel it. And not everyone responds to it with love. For family members who struggle with their own insecurities, the chosen one is a walking reminder of what they wish they had. They might not be able to name that feeling as jealousy, but it shows up in how they treat the chosen one. Instead of celebrating their successes, they find ways to tear them down. They'll dismiss their accomplishments, saying they got lucky. They'll minimize their joy, saying they should be more humble or grateful. Sometimes they'll even mock their dreams or interests just to make them feel small. And the sad part is, the chosen one often doesn't understand why they're being treated this way. They question themselves. They wonder if they really are too much or if they're doing something wrong. But the truth is simple. When someone is carrying pain or feels unworthy, they will often project that pain onto the person who makes them feel most exposed. And the chosen one, with their quiet strength and unshakable sense of self, becomes an easy target. But their journey doesn't stop there. On top of all that, the chosen one often feels like they were born into a family that never truly saw or understood them. From a young age, they may have felt different, like they didn't belong, like they were somehow wired differently. Families often have unspoken expectations. These may come from culture, religion, or just generational patterns passed down over time. They expect their children to follow a certain path, to believe what they believe, to live the life they never got to live. But the chosen one doesn't follow the script. They hear a different calling. It may lead them down an unconventional career path, into spiritual beliefs that don't align with tradition, or simply into a way of living that prioritizes inner peace over external approval. And when they start living life on their own terms, the backlash comes quickly. They're told they're selfish, that they're dishonoring the family, that they're too proud or too rebellious. But what's really happening is that they're refusing to sacrifice their truth for someone else's comfort. They're not rejecting love, they're rejecting control. And they're not trying to hurt anyone, they're trying to heal themselves. That's something families often miss. The chosen one isn't trying to destroy the family. They're trying to break the cycles that have hurt generations before them. They're the first to say, "This ends with me." The first to go to therapy. The first to speak openly about things that were always swept under the rug. The first to demand respect, to name the trauma, to choose peace over performance. And that kind of bravery scares people. Instead of growing, many family members choose to blame. Instead of looking inward, they lash outward. The chosen one becomes a symbol of everything they're not ready to face. And so the blame piles on. Every conflict is their fault. Every uncomfortable truth is blamed on them. They carry the weight of everyone else's refusal to grow. And that's a heavy, lonely burden to carry. The more they evolve, the more distance they feel. The deeper they go into their healing, the more misunderstood they become. Their choices, their lifestyle, even their silence becomes threatening. It's not that they're doing anything wrong. It's just that their existence reminds others of the work they're avoiding. And rather than do that work, it's easier to label the chosen one as the black sheep, the problem, the troublemaker. But deep down, they know the truth. They were never meant to fit in. They were born to rise above, to break the chains, to start over. Their life was never about being accepted. It was about awakening. And even though it's painful, even though the loneliness sometimes feels unbearable, they continue on. They choose truth over approval, healing over tradition, growth over comfort. And slowly, they start to realize they were never truly alone. Others out there are on the same journey. Others have been blamed for simply being different. Others have walked away from families who couldn't see their light. And together, their collective strength begins to build something new, a new way of living, loving, and existing. If you are the chosen one, know this. Your pain does not mean you're broken. Your isolation doesn't mean you're wrong. You are not to blame for being who you are. You were placed in your family for a divine reason, not to suffer, but to awaken. You are here to shift the energy, to bring healing, to change what has gone unchallenged for too long. Your light may be misunderstood, but it is needed. So keep going. Keep standing in your truth. Keep protecting your peace. Even if others call you selfish, even if they don't understand, even if you lose people along the way, your soul knows why you're doing this. And in time, those who are meant to walk with you will find you. Let your story be one of courage. Let your journey inspire others to heal. Let your voice be a reminder that breaking cycles is not easy, but it is worth it. You are not here to make everyone comfortable. You are here to shine, to evolve, and to help create a new legacy, one built on truth, not fear. And if this message has found you at the perfect time, trust that it's not a coincidence. You are being guided. You are being reminded of your strength. And most importantly, you are not alone. This is your sign to keep going, to hold your head high, to know that even when the world blames you, you are walking a path of purpose. Keep shining, chosen one. Your light is powerful, and your presence is a gift.